On Twinkie Winkie's side, we have Scarface, Skunk Hair, Mrs. Nicegrams, Mustachely, Uncle Broken Ankle, TikTok Flop, and Tiny Ocean, or Big Pond, depends on how you see it. Siding with Diarrhea are Zuko 2.0, The Human Hemorrhoid, Environmental Instability, and Redhead Redemptionless 2. Finally, supporting Gamer Girl, we have the Demon Child, the Dead of the Year, Pasty Face, and Therapistess, the world-class psychologist, philanthropist, and motivational speaker who's like better than all of us in everything. She's amazing, we suck. Who's gonna win this venture camp? Find out in a few seconds after I'm done complaining about how dumb Jake and Ali are. Oh god, how could they even fall for Rhea's tricks there? Again! Why do you still trust her? You're a moron, and you're an idiot. Jake's a moron and Ali's an idiot. I know that you two are not the smartest people on the planet, but come on, this woman has tricked literally everybody. How do you still trust her? I'm not saying that you shouldn't give her the benefit of the doubt, heck, I would too, you know? It's the finale, a stressful situation, we're all people, right? No matter how horrible some of us are, we can still try to connect. The moment the letter Jake received seems to have mysteriously changed entirely and is now completely different, then why would you still believe her? Jake could have easily told Ali, look, girl, this is not the letter that I received, okay? Don't you think it's a little convenient that Diarrhea would come to us with our backpacks, completely free to do whatever the hell she wants with them and with our letters, and then she says, yeah, why don't we read our letters? It would be fun. And then she gives me hers so that I would have to give you mine. Don't you think it's this woman who's trying to turn us against one another? And then Gamer Girl would have said, hell, Twinkie Winkie, you're freaking right. Let's push Diarrhea off a cliff. Let's turn Diarrhea into Die Now Rhea. It would have been so simple. This is not good for my heart. I shouldn't get this overexcited. No one should. To honor the promise they made to Connor, Jake and Ali seem to be getting along now, so they decide to train and even work together in the finale. They kinda sound like real friends here. If only they hadn't had this constant back and forth the entire time, then seeing them get along now, it actually would have felt pretty deserved. Instead, this kinda came out of nowhere. It is pretty lovely how they started bonding over the loss of their beloved grandparents. It was extremely wholesome, I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that they brought up this common pain that they both had to go through, so I think that there's nothing more wholesome than the bond between a grandparent and a grandchild, so this scene works on its own. It works pretty well, it's pretty sweet, but its main issue is that it absolutely makes zero sense after Ali and Jake's constant fighting and them hitting one another's guts. Had their relationship developed over time with some kind of positive trend, with them fighting but still seeing the good in one another, then this whole bonding moment would actually have felt truly powerful. Here instead it's nice, but nothing more. Right before the challenge, the eliminated contestants are all brought back, ready to root for their favorite finalists, and it seems that both Yule's scar and Connor's foot are all better now. These people heal crazy fast. It's been like 2 days since the grill accident, so either Yule sold his soul to the devil in exchange for his face turning back to normal, or perhaps he himself is the devil, so he already had the power to fix it all on his own. I'm not sure, although the second option seems a little more plausible. Either way, realistic or not, devil or not, I'm kinda glad he's not scarred for life. Perhaps a little bit of physical pain, you know, it kind of feels earned after a while, but, you know, a scar that never goes away, it's a little too much. The challenge begins with the campers all being blindfolded and left at the very bottom of a cave, yet not before Oliver could very nicely tie everyone's hair into a bun. He is so considerate. The campers have to find 10 gems with their tools and later make their way back to the surface, as easy as that. It was interesting to see Ali make a Minecraft reference explaining where diamonds can be found, and I do remember the good old days when the sweet spot for diamonds used to be around Y12, like, memories, although I wish we saw more of Rhea finding these diamonds. I realized that it would have been everything but exciting to see the three of them collect every single diamond, you know, oh, I find a diamond, I collect it, I put it in the bag, then again, mine collect bag, I get it. But I think that it was so very necessary to show us how exactly Rhea managed to catch up with the others. After all, she just had those kitty inflatable tools with her. It's perfectly fine if they want her to catch up to Ali and Jake, but if she does, then you gotta show us how she did it. And no, saying that she was lucky is not enough. I'll have to assume that, just like with the first one, Rhea and Yul probably found some more gems just on the ground out in the open and not necessarily hidden underground or behind walls. The producers probably realized that the camper with a disadvantage would still somehow need to put up a fight and find some of those gems, so they must have left some on the ground so that, you know, they don't need to be mined out. So maybe that's what Rhea did in order to catch up. But because they didn't show us, I can simply imagine this is how it all went down. A simple scene of her saying, oh, so there are diamonds out in the open as well, That, and a 5-second clip of her and Yul running around looking for exposed diamonds, that would have already sufficed. You don't need her to say in a confessional, oh, so I seem to gather that there may actually be diamonds out in the open on the ground as well, so what if I were to win the challenge by not mining anything, but simply walking around the cave looking for exposed diamonds? You don't need that, but at least hint at it, okay? It just felt so very random how she suddenly and magically found all of the gems. Emily then frees the Scorpions, which I was pretty glad to see the Season 1 Scorpions again, and I was also glad that it was Jake who saved Fiore from the Scorpion. Had Ali rescued her, then it could have been interpreted as her doing it for the money and not because she's a genuinely good person. With Jake instead, it works a little bit better, and it also helps him, you know, seem like a better person. The challenge overall was handled pretty well. Its main issue perhaps was that everyone was slowing down every 2 seconds for no valid reason. There was way too much stalling. For instance, why on earth would Rhea just stop and help Yul get unstuck without getting his shirt ripped? Why would she care about that? Why didn't she just rip it instantly and run? Had her hair gotten untied and stuck under some rocks, then maybe I would have bought it, but this I really don't, honestly. And even a few minutes later, when Ali was waiting for Jake to make it to the top, it also felt like a huge waste of time. Had they been close friends for more than just, you know, one afternoon, then I absolutely would have bought it. But her waiting for Jake after 19 episodes of
payback's gonna feel so good.
You being a prick isn't any help.
The biggest dick on the field.
Deal with your bullshit.
You should have seen your face.
Insecure idiot.
Ow!
Allie!
Ow!
Let go!
No! You let go!
This moment just felt very random. Sure, they wanted to work together to honor Connor's wishes, but they failed to do so in the past so many times now. They failed to make Ashley proud, to save the Heroes Alliance, to stop Rhea in episode 18. They just lost all credibility, telling me that they're doing this for Connor and his sake, and that his elimination brought them together. It's not enough. I can't believe it. I don't believe it. Not now. Had they slowly but steadily gone from being enemies to being friends over, I don't know, the last 8 episodes, then it could have worked. It would have made sense. It would have felt genuine. These moments of the two of them helping one another, they would have felt more genuine, and even their chat at the start of the episode more wholesome. But like this, after 19 episodes of hitting each other and then being fine with one another and then enemies again and then on decent terms and then enemies again, it's just a huge hodgepodge of stuff. Eventually, Trevor and Derek arrive and save everyone from the Scorpions, and although that moment was really much needed, it just had to be them getting involved and rescuing the campers, it didn't really feel too epic. It could have felt more epic in my opinion. It really would have helped to see them just wander around the cave to look for the contestants in just 1 or 2 little scenes before this one, just to establish that they're actually putting their lives on the line to rescue the campers and that they actually care. Without showing us, however, that they've been looking for them, it kinda seemed like they came out of nowhere and instantly knew what to do, where to go, and how to find them. Seconds later, the interns decide to leave Emily behind so she can get what's coming to her, and at first I was like, yay, Emily's gonna end up in prison, but then they left her there, so Emily's gonna end up in a coffin. Okay, why didn't they rescue her? Even though she's been terrible today, I doubt that leaving her there to die is a good thing to do. I doubt she's gonna die, of course, but I was hoping Trevor and Derek would just get there and rescue her, you know? It would have been the nice thing to do. Honestly, Emily's descent into villainy was extremely sudden, we can all agree on that. She went from sabotaging the challenge so that Crystal loses her job to pushing Trevor off a cliff and letting the campers be eaten alive by giant scorpions in just a few seconds. It isn't quite something that happens overnight. She was never this aggressive before. A little feisty perhaps, a little bossy, but she went from 0 to 100 in under a second here. In fact, that's another reason why it just felt so incredibly wrong to leave her there to die. Again, she's not dying, but their intention is to leave her there with 2 enormous scorpions, you know? Rhea crosses the finish line first, and Ali comes in second, meaning Jake is the loser. But we have another twist. Gabby was not the only one done dirty by a twist. It still hurts to think about her elimination, honestly. Apparently, Ali's backpack had a hole in it, so the diamonds fell right out, meaning Jake now takes her spot in the final 2. Now, I went back and we watched the final scenes of the challenge, and apparently, yes, Ali's backpack broke when Rhea threw that rock at her. I still don't know how that one rock both managed to make a hole in her backpack and hit her in the face at the same time. Had she thrown more rocks at her, then it would have made sense, but the issue here is not the amount of rocks. The issue is that they didn't show us the gems falling out of the bag. This felt just as random as when Gabby and Gretz swapped phones in episode 14. Here too, we really could have used some sort of indicator to tell us that the gems are not there anymore. One of the gems, you don't need her to lose all 10 gems. Right after Rhea hit her on the head with that rock, they could have shown this one little diamond falling out of her backpack, not even too noticeable, you know, at the very bottom of the screen for just a few pixels. That would have been enough, something that only a very keen viewer would notice the first time around. But even without drawing anything, they simply could have added just one noticeable sound effect of the bag getting ripped. That would have been enough. With this, Jake and Rhea are the 2 finalists, and Gamer Girl gets the bronze medal. And I'll be honest, I didn't really like her that much this season. And it's a shame because she really did have the potential to turn into an incredibly interesting character. Because of her social media presence, of the hate comments, of how much she cares about other people's opinions, and even how her parents are so against her streaming career and just want her to get a regular sad job. All this, including what she said today about how she's had enough of people telling her her problems are not big enough, it's all stuff that could have taken her character to a whole new level if only was explored more in detail. She could have faced all of these issues and slowly become a better person in doing so, and her character would have been 100,000 times more interesting and especially more relatable. She could have brought so much to the table instead of constantly fighting with Jake. I'm still glad all these matters were brought up. At the very least, it's better this than not mentioning them at all, that's for sure, but I really would have wanted them to explore them more in detail. As for today's episode, it was both a shame that she didn't make the most of fewer tricks to complete the challenge sooner. After all, cheating on this show at this point, it's not only allowed, it's encouraged, so they could have easily given that a try. But at the same time, I'm also pretty glad that she didn't resort to cheating. She may not be my favorite character, but at least she has moral integrity. Overall, the interactions with the helpers led to some of my favorite moments, especially Yul and Rhea, but also Fiora and Ali, they were a pretty great duo, whereas Jake and James together, they didn't really do much. I guess having them team up was mostly just a way for James to change his mind about Jake, yet that's pretty much it. And it's not like I really needed James to like Jake. I would have been fine had he kept hating him, but okay. For the next episode, I do expect Ali to be Jake's helper, and I kinda wouldn't mind it if Ellie instead sided with Rhea. It would be pretty fun. Also because no member of Team Cyan is having anything to do with this finale. They're not even helpers. They're just there sitting and chilling. It would be so interesting, although I doubt it, but it would still be interesting if they included all of the eliminated contestants in the final challenge, like half of them siding with one camper and the other half siding with the other one. It would be pretty awesome to see them get eliminated from the challenge one by one as they fight. That would be so cool. But anyway, that's pretty much it. These were my thoughts, so I'd like to hear yours. Let me know what you think of the challenge, of Ali's elimination, of her sudden friendship with Jake, and even just of Ali in general as a character. That's the one thing that I keep asking every review. It's not very original of me, but you know, at this point, it's what I do. I wouldn't want to break the pattern. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for the very last time next week. For the final review, that is, because I also have a retrospective plan. So, you know, we're not done yet. You're not gonna get rid of me that easily. See you next time. Ciao!